Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Tea with P. I'm your host, Pavel Karabelov, and joining me today is Eric Moes. Eric is a teacher here at Sonoma Academy. He teaches freshmen and a few sophomores biology, as well as visual thinking and fabrication, which is open to all students. Well, thank you, Eric, for joining me on the show.
It is such a pleasure.
Oh, it's nice to hear.
Mr. K.
That actually was my
Mr.
7th
K.
grade.
Really?
My 7th grade teacher's name. So that was a lot of fun when I was in 7th grade. In fact, his daughter goes to this school, Audrey.
Oh,
yeah.
Cornfine.
Cornfine. Yeah.
Mazel tov. There we are.
Exactly.
There we are.
Yeah, so you were telling me beforehand you have an ear infection?
No, I have an ear infection, and it started off as like a virus, but then the eustachian tube in the ear gets clogged, and then bacteria feed off that clog and then create a swelling. So apparently you can take antibiotics for bacteria, not for viruses. So I'm taking a bunch of antibiotics and drops in my ear.
Yeah, drops are usually the best way to go when it comes to ear infections, from what I've heard. But they're ridiculously annoying.
They're ridiculous. Thank you, Dr. K. Now it's Dr. K.
I mean, I swim, so I've just sort of learned to live with swimmer's ear, which is a fungal infection. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And you have to use these ear drops that dry out your ear. It's some sort of alcohol, from what I've figured out. And you sort of just have to lay on your side, plugging your ear up with liquid, and then just sort of letting it spill out.
God.
Yeah, it's really not fun.
Being alive is disgusting.
Being alive is very strange.
Buddha said, we're just, as he was getting enlightened, as he was attaining enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, he's like, he realized that, and the demons were tantalizing him with all these pleasures of the flesh and pleasures, and he just looked at these temptations, these beautiful women, and he goes, you know what? They're just dirt bags full of dirt, because we are.
Yeah.
The minute we put food in our bodies, it eventually becomes sewage.
Exactly.
You know, biology is a messy business, man.
No, it really is. Like, just figuring out what makes people tick it's fascinating.
You mean biologically or psychologically?
Biologically.
Psychologically.
Psychologically. That is a whole nother can of worms.
HNL.
I don't know these
whole
acronyms.
Nother level.
Oh, yes.
It's a whole nother level.
I enjoy psychology as much as the next Freudian guy. But,
are you a Freudian?
Well, no, but I mean, you sort of, whenever it comes to psychology debate, you have to throw in Freud.
Freud, man, that guy, he had some wacky ideas, but he was the first person to say, wait a minute, there's something going on under the surface.
Really?
In terms of psychology, there is an unconscious. There's a subconscious that we don't know is affecting our actions and behavior.
I know he did that. I thought you meant he was the first person ever to be like, oh yeah, maybe there's something in humans that makes them run. They're not just machines. But no, before then we had
I mean, that's exactly. He was one of the first people to codify that, the fact that there's other subconscious motivations and decision making going on that we're not aware of, that we aren't just machines.
Yeah. Do you know where biology sort of started, like the study of biology? What year or what era?
I think it's I do not know, but it's got to go back to the Greeks or before. I mean. Yeah,
I think. If I can remember,
they were cutting people apart way back when, trying to figure out. But the Greeks, I believe, thought the brain was used for cooling the blood. And that's all it did. I'm pretty sure.
Cooling the blood.
Cooling the blood. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Middle Ages, Dark Ages, is the time when the Italians really came into biology.
What did the
I don't know which.
Well, wasn't it Leonardo da Vinci? Didn't he cut people apart kind of surreptitiously?
So. I mean, the Vitruvian Man was.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest.
What is that called?
Images in.
What's that? You mean that one?
Yeah, that one.
Well, that is called.
There's one in Sam's classroom under the desk.
I used to know the name of that. What, Vitruvian?
Vitruvian.
Vitruvian, yeah, Vitruvius.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a...
So Vitruvius was another philosopher, wasn't
Vitruvius, I think so. No,
Look it up.
Was he a philosopher? Was he a
Or
god?
scientist or something.
Vitruvius.
Vitruvian man.
Let's see. Vitruvius, isn't it?
Oh, is a drawing made by Leonardo, right?
Yeah.
1490.
He is a Roman author, architect, civil engineer, and military engineer.
Yeah, Vitruvius. Yeah, Vitruvius.
And so, did he actually pose for him?
No. I think he was basing. Da Vinci was made a drawing of a man based on Vitruvian geometries and observations. I think.
Yeah, no, because he was Yeah,
some of his buildings still stand.
Vitruvius?
Yeah.
Isn't Vitruvius? No, I'm thinking Vesuvius. I knew there was
Vesuvius. Isn't that a volcano?
The volcano. Pompeii. Yeah.
Vesuvius is the one that plowed over Pompeii.
Yeah.
Gave it a shellacking, so to speak.
Yeah. They're discovering a lot of strange things about Pompeii. I think that's the first place where they found graffiti in Pompeii.
Really?
There was a room that was sealed off because of the explosion. Not the explosion, but the volcanic ash.
Yeah.
Sealed it off, and so inside it was not pristine, of course, but it was sort of trapped together in the air. Sealed.
Yeah,
Thank you. And so they opened that up, and they found graffiti on the wall. They have no idea what it means.
Huh. That's crazy.
Some people are thinking it's a calendar date, in 13 days or so.
Like when it happened?
Either when it happened or something in the future.
Interesting.
Because you've got to remember, people in the past, they were like us. They had pressing matters on their mind.
They were like us. They were exactly. There's no genetic difference between them and us. That kind of crazy.
None at all. Is there any? Have we evolved at all?
Well, I'm sure we are evolving, but there's really no difference between the cavemen who did the paintings in France. The cave, they're humans. They're just like us.
Yeah.
They didn't have iPhones. Poor guys.
So this is a question that I've also been thinking of a lot. For those of you who don't know, I take Eric's biology class, and that's a lot of fun.
Well, Miles, thank you very much.
For me, not too sure about Eric.
Yeah. No, you are a human. You are a human thought experimenter. You run the thought experiment constantly.
Thank you. So.
But sometimes, do you ever get out of your head?
Do I ever get out of my head?
That's important to get out of your head. Well, if you're in your head, how about
taking a step back and
No, being in your body, dancing like a weirdo, or disconnecting the brain from the body and just being physical, being in the world, the physical world.
You should know this about me. I don't dance unless it's ballroom dancing, and you sort of have to use your brain for that one.
Okay.
But other than that, I swim.
Right.
So swimming, you sort of shut off your brain, except I don't.
Yeah. What do you think about when you swim?
The stack of homework I have at home. No, I don't know. There's a lot I think about, but the strange thing for me is that a lot of people, when I've come to read works, when you read, a lot of people I hear, they have things dictating their thoughts. Mm-hmm. For some strange reason, I don't hear that.
You don't have an internal voice?
Exactly.
You don't have an internal voice?
I don't have an internal voice. Everything I say is just it comes.
I'm so jealous. That's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
So you don't have an... You don't talk to yourself?
I don't talk to myself. If I talk to myself, I talk to myself verbally, not mentally.
Well, you should donate your brain to science. When you're done using it.
When I'm done using it, of course. No, I'd like to keep my brain for a little while longer.
Of course.
But
what a specimen it would be.
Maybe.
They could put it in an undead, like in Frankenstein. What do you think your brain would do in a Frankenstein character?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just...
because what it comes down to is it the brain that really... Because the brain it's mainly a storage... It's not mainly a storage thing. It runs all of our...
It runs the whole show.
It runs everything.
It's everything.
But we also use it as a storage of memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then we get to the hypotheticals of if we put that into another organism, would it retain the same memories? And if it does retain the memories, is it sort of in the same language?
That's a very good question.
Like, for example, if we were to put a human brain in, like, a cat, for example, would it be able to understand the memories? Because
and also if you put a human brain in a cat, would the cat be able to walk with 4 legs? Because that brain is used to walking with 2.
Exactly. And would even the brain be able to do all the bodily functions?
Right.
Because it's a different sort of structure. There was something either I read or I just remembered about the brain. I used to be fascinated with the brain.
It's nuts.
I used to be fascinated with a lot of things. Space was one.
Space is big.
Space is awesome.
Space is awesome. I get the brain. I come up with these really simple analogies or whatever. Right? Is the brain is trying to figure itself out.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is insane.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I work? Isn't that crazy?
And again, like, sort of going back to the language thing, I sort of see, like, the brain knows everything it does. The question is, like, we just haven't found a way to... Like, imagine if you will, it's like, it's the difference between 2 files. It's like MP3 files versus MP4 files. You've got to convert them somehow.
Right.
So, like, if we were to try and take out a brain, plug it into a machine... Would we be able to?
Do you think someone's tried that yet?
Probably.
Yeah.
In some
dark
country.
Dark laboratory that nobody knows about. They've certainly done it in the movies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
RoboCop.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it
The first one.
The best one.
The best one.
Not the.
Right.
From what I've heard, like the end of the RoboCop trilogy, was it?
I don't know.
Like people hated it.
Yeah, they tended to go down. They're not like they tend to go down, but the first one was amazeballs.
I often find
violent.
That,
horribly violent.
I find that a lot of films, like two films are coming to mind right now. Great trilogies, or first 2 films is the not prequel. The first film's good. The sequel is even better. And then the third film.
Give an example.
Godfather. The Godfather trilogy it goes. Good, great,
Spirit,
terrible.
Right.
And the other one was Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
Because, help yourself.
The third one sucked?
From what I heard, well, in comparison to either of them, that's just... Yeah.
Look at that. That's really nice.
I know, my mom got it from, like, Pier Imports for...
Jeez. Classy.
$10. It's nice.
Such a deal.
But so, like, the
made
first...
in China.
Probably, yeah.
If it's $10, it's made in China.
And, that's something I hear a lot. Like, people are always saying, if it's made in China, that's bad. In my opinion, I mean, if it does the job, it's fine. I mean, I know there's
well, it's just sort of like, what are the work...
Status.
It's not that it's bad. It's just like, what are the working conditions of the people who are making that thing, If that's $10, that was $10, then what it costs to make? 33 cents?
Even less.
What it costs to get it over here from China? It's crazy.
That's the biggest question.
Crazy.
Everyone's always like, it costs this much money to make. No one talks about how much money it costs to ship.
Apparently shipping is super cheap. You know why?
Is it really?
Yeah. Per piece. Because... those shipping containers can carry so much. They carry hundreds of thousands of tons of stuff. So that little thing, it takes up more volume than weight. You know what I'm saying? It's very light.
Yeah.
So it's a volumetric thing. But no, these ships, apparently it's the cheapest. It's like if you average out the carbon, because these ships are burning fossil fuel, right? It's apparently it's kind of like trains. Trains are really per pound or per kilogram of cargo moved. It's very little energy because they can move so much.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So then I'm asking, why is my Amazon 2 days shipping so expensive?
Well, it's not expensive compared to other things.
Of course.
Right?
But
it's not expensive Amazon, that's the thing. What Amazon does is you got to see this great show. It's called, it's Hassan Minhaj. Minhaj, he's a comedian. And he has his own show. It's on Netflix. It's called Patriot Act. And it's really good. So there's a whole... Yeah, it's called Patriot. It's a half-hour show.
Yeah.
And it's a whole slew of comedians that have come out of The Daily Show that are now, they have found their voice and they found their political voice, and they're using their humor to elucidate really specific thing. And so in Patriarch, he talks about Amazon, and I am really trying to do less business with Amazon because it's a monopoly that we've
allowed.
Well, it's a monopoly that we've never seen before. You know, it's not just a monopoly that sells books. It's a monopoly that sells everything, and that's a problem.
And I mean, we have that with other things as well. Google, for example,
Mm-hmm.
that's a monopoly of information.
It is and it isn't. You do have Bing, you do have other things, but you're right. I mean, most people use Google.
I mean,
you're right.
I think I found for a long time there was a statistic that for like a couple of months, probably not a couple of months, even longer, top search thing on Bing was Google. Same thing on Yahoo, same thing on Ask.
Yeah, poor guys.
It's just Google has they have great marketing, first of all. Like
they become a verb.
everywhere.
They become a verb to Google something.
Yeah.
Google it. I know.
Yeah.
So did you have a question you specifically wanted to ask?
Oh, no, this is just...
Oh.
Oh, wait, there was one question
Okay.
back when we were talking about cavemen.
Oh, cavemen.
Long time ago. The cavemen... So from the beginning of not human life, but just life to evolution.
Like 3.8 billion years ago?
Was it 3 point? Yeah,
something like that.
3.8 billion years ago.
That's when they can... What?
How old is the Earth?
4.56 billion years.
Wow.
Old. She's
old.
an old mother.
Yeah.
We have to treat her well.
We haven't been doing that lately.
No, we haven't.
But from life to evolution, or through evolution, is there a solid rate of evolution?
That's a great question.
My biggest question. And if so, have we seen that slow lately? Or speed up?
That's a great question. I do know, like, things were... we've been studying evolution longer than I think we all wanted to. Evolution, when did cells go from single cell to multiple cells?
Oh, no, this was a while ago.
This is a pop quiz, dude.
This is a pop quiz. I remember it was...
And what caused it? What was the phrase?
It was... Oh, what was the phrase?
What was the term we were using? God, Pavel.
No, the phrase.
You hurt me.
I can't recall. I can draw it on the board for you.
I know
right
you
now.
could. You did an animation of it.
I did an animation. Wait, are we talking about what we just did yesterday?
No. What did we do yesterday?
Yesterday was the...
Wakey, man.
It was with the ATP.
Right.
ETC. Those
ETC.
animations.
Yeah.
Oh, are we
did
talking... Yeah,
this is before break.
We did... You should have seen our animation. It was...
I did.
Oh, you saw
I did. I haven't been able to comment on them. Of course.
It's not that good.
Because you uploaded it.
Yeah, we... so that was when a eukaryotic cell... well, no, there were two prokaryotes.
Right.
But one prokaryote was really good at creating its own energy.
Right.
And that's become the mitochondria now.
Right.
And it was sort of enveloped
Right.
by another one.
A special hug.
A special one. And that was usually... It was huge in comparison to the other prokaryotes. And when it took that in, it could not digest the prokaryote that was great at creating its own energy. And so it sort of assimilated into the mitochondria.
It assimilated.
Which is why the
Totally.
mitochondria is the only one with DNA.
Right.
The only organelle with DNA.
Right. What other organelle has DNA?
Nucleus?
No, in plant cells.
Oh, in plant cells.
Yeah, we haven't even discussed
We haven't even discussed this, but wouldn't be with the chloroplast.
Yeah,
it
chloroplasts
is really
have their own DNA. Same process.
interesting.
Yeah. Life is complex, man.
Yes, even just like the building blocks of them.
Right.
Yeah, another thing going
back.
No, not even
back in time. 2 billion years ago, we had endosymbiosis.
Yes.
Endosymbiosis, and then 530 million years ago, you had really simple multicellular organisms. And then you had this huge explosion that is seen in the fossil record called the Cambrian explosion,
yes.
where suddenly all these types of animals show up in the sedimentary rock record. It's crazy.
And that's like the biggest question with evolution.
They don't know what caused the explosion. You know,
Yeah. Do we have any theories?
I'm sure there are theories. I used to know them. I haven't. But something happened where they were simple multicellular creatures that just kind of like stuck to the sea floor and looked like big leaves. To suddenly animals are eating each other.
Yeah. And I've heard like the fossilized remains of various creatures isn't that the biggest argument for evolutionists? Like, because we haven't found the missing link. Is that's a phrase I've heard thrown around.
I think we're all missing links. That's the thing. You're not going to find. They found a lot. They found a lot of missing links, but they found enough to. You have to remember, they found enough to piece the story together, and all the animals that we find in the fossil record that probably represents, because you know how rare it is for an animal to be fossilized. The conditions that have to happen.
It's insane. You have to be near a body of water,
right? A shallow body of water. There needs to be
water.
Sand that washes over you. All these things. They think it represents less than 1% of the animals that of the species that existed.
But at the same time, so right now there's about 5 million species out there,
something like that.
And that's only 1% of the
total
amount of species.
Well, no. I'm just saying the fossil record. What we're seeing when we look at the fossil record, it's probably less than 1% of the animals that existed back then, because the rest just didn't die. Those conditions, they didn't die in an area where those conditions were appropriate. Hey, it's 1 minute to class time.
Oh, 1 minute to class. Okay, so yeah, so we've got to go.
Trying to get out of this?
I'm not trying to get out of it.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
so thank you. That was enjoyable.
Let's do this because I have this. I don't want. I'm not
spread?
I don't think it's contagious, but when you feel sick, it's a good reaction to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll do one more time.
All
One
right.
more elbow bump.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay, you're welcome.